The honourable member for Dartmouth North.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Minister of Community Services. The roadmap for transforming the Nova Scotia Services to Persons with Disabilities program was presented to government in 2013. That report included a 5-year implementation plan to address a range of issues, including the need for people with disabilities to have access to the full range of affordable and accessible housing in the community, a range that is available to all Nova Scotians. Mr. Speaker, will the minister explain why the government has failed to implement the recommendations from the roadmap?
The Honourable Minister of Community Services.
I want to thank the honourable member for the question. In fact, I reject her premise. In fact, we are busy working on that roadmap, Mr. Speaker, including the building of a number of small options homes, 2 of which have opened, 2 are about to open, and 4 are in the planning stages. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Dartmouth North.
Mr. Speaker, the Community Homes Action Group has repeatedly given the government a failing grade on this file. It has recommended an investment in at least 25 new small option homes each year for the next 3 years. The 2018 budget included funding for only 8, and now we are starting to see those 8 come to fruition. Last week, an independent board of inquiry ruled that the province had violated the human rights of Beth McLean, Sheila Livingstone, and Joey Delaney by not providing access to housing options. Mr. Speaker, will a minister be requiring each individual person with a disability in Nova Scotia to file a human rights complaint in order to ensure their human rights are respected?
The Honourable Minister of Community Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think she may be confusing our government with theirs, which did absolutely nothing on this particular front, Mr. Speaker. This is not an overnight process. Every single person needs to have a plan going forward. You can't just stick people into residences as if they're going off to university. You have to make sure that people have complementary needs. We want to make sure they have the appropriate supports before you move out. You have to make sure their families are supportive. You actually have to talk to the people who want to move out and make sure they want to move out, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, we're doing exactly that.